Yo, what is up, guys? It is John here, or Crucial, and I'm going to be going over the Helldivers 2 meta, quote-unquote, loadout. This would be for the higher difficulties, pretty much anything that you're going to be able to get super samples on, and super samples are the purple samples that you need for your final upgrades. I'm also sorry if you hear my dog in the background. She's chewing on a bone that she loves. So the biggest thing about having a loadout that's going to be good for the higher difficulties is probably the first thing that you're going to choose is your weapons. So for your weapons, I'm going to really recommend only two of the weapons in the game as far as primaries. That's going to be the SG-225 Shotgun Breaker. I think it's just called the Breaker, I'm just dumb, but it is the shotgun. It's a semi-automatic one, and the assault rifle that is the Penetrator. These are both pretty decent weapons. The shotgun really does outshine about everything else. There's some people that use the fire version of it, but the Breaker is going to be the most accessible weapon for you as far as it's quick and early on. It doesn't cost a lot of medals to unlock. The Penetrator is further down the tree. And if you wanted to go with the fire shotgun, you're going to need to have the premium battle pass or the premium version with the super credits and all that stuff. So we're just going to go with the base game kind of stuff here, and the earliest and the most accessible, because that also kind of plays into how strong something is. Because if it's really strong but it's super late game, then that's great, but that kind of makes sense. Versus if it's super strong and it's early game, that's kind of like scratching my head. Which I will say, in this game, there's definitely a lot of balancing conundrums, and that's going to have to be addressed soon, and I think it will. I'm not too stressed about it. I think it's going to get changed at some point. And I want to say this, you know, when it comes to a meta loadout in a game like this, or even like Deep Rock Galactic, or maybe some other videos on my channel like Dark Tide, meta is just, you know, it's interesting. It's an interesting topic, because in a game like this, you don't really need to have a meta, but it definitely is there to help people who maybe need a crutch for the higher difficulties. Maybe they're achievement hunting, or maybe they're just trying to, you know, get to a new high point in the game where, you know what, they want to play on the highest difficulty, but they really can't find any other way to do it, and they need to have these kind of crutches. It doesn't make you a bad player. It just means that you want to play the game a little bit easier, and you don't have that time to invest in getting super, you know, maybe acclimated with all the systems in the game. There's nothing wrong with having a meta in a game. That's just the best, and that's just how it is right now. Unfortunately, there is a lot of balancing issues with Helldivers 2, and that's just a fact. I honestly do believe that. I think there's a lot of issues, but we're not going to go over that in this video. We're going to go over the meta loadout. So again, to get back on topic, the primary weapon is either going to be the Penetrator or the shotgun. Your grenades, you can pretty much use any grenade, but it kind of depends on the faction that you're fighting. If you're fighting the Terminids, I would recommend the default high explosive grenade or the impact grenade. I will say this, if you're trying to kill nests, I probably wouldn't take the impact grenade. It's just a little funky, and it's a little bit harder to use. It's also not as good against the Terminids as it is the bots. And then you also have for your secondary, you can either use the Redeemer or the default pistol. I like them both a lot. The revolver is really badass and it's cool, but the problem is that it's just not good in a horde shooter. It's slow reload, clunky, and the damage is not as high as it should be for what it is. Now, the moment that you guys have been waiting for, and the thing that kind of matters more than anything, right? You can kind of make any weapon work to an extent, but this is going to be the stratagems. Now, the 4 stratagems, and honestly, I would say 2 of them are non-negotiable for the high difficulty. One of which is the railgun. The railgun is insane. Once you unlock this, it's going to be a game changer for you. It's going to make both factions really easy to fight compared to what they were before. You know, chargers are a big menace, and the fact is, when one's on screen, there's a problem. But oftentimes at high difficulties, you can have 3 or 4. The railgun makes it so easy. If you put 2 shots into either of its legs, it's going to strip the armor, and then after that point, you can just kill it with some basic weapons, and it'll be crazy. It's a night and day difference. I mean, literally, guys, between killing a charger regularly or trying to like mow it down with everything in your arsenal at the start of the game, because that's exactly how it feels. It's very appropriate that the charger is considered a boss at early levels, because it is. And then you're going to be looking at the shield generator backpack. The shield generator backpack is just insane. I think that it's a standard of almost one of the things that's in this game that's too strong. I really thought when I first saw it, just looking through stratagems when I first got the game, like, oh, it's gonna block fire, like, you know, small arms fire, maybe some rockets, whatever. This thing blocks melee attacks. That is insane. I do not think that this should block melee attacks. It blocks bile spew as well. That's from the nursing guys as well. You know, so it just has a lot of very strong use cases, and really the only downside is obviously that it takes a backpack slot and a strategic slot, which obviously you're going to need to use for anything that you're going to call in. and it's just so crazy good. I think any good player with this could probably go just about through any level deathless, as long as you give the shield time to recharge and actually make use of the shield. It's just such a strong item. Once you actually get it on your character, it's very, very difficult. It improves your survivability by quite a lot. The next stratagem that I'm going to recommend is the Eagle 500 kg bomb. This is an incredibly strong stratagem. Now, I know some people might be fooled when it says one use case. That just means that it's going to go on cooldown after you use it one time. Eagles work in a different way than some of the others, like the orbitals. Orbitals, like the laser, has 3 uses, and then it's not usable anymore for the rest of the mission. And it also has a very long cooldown, whereas the Eagle, it's going to go on cooldown after you use it, but it's only going to be on cooldown for about 2.5 to 3 minutes. So it's a very strong stratagem to use. It's going to be able to deal with your Bile Titans and your tanks on the Automatron side of things very easily and dispatch them. And honestly, that's where I would take it and use it. I just think it's one of those stratagems that's just there for, you know, oh crap, right? And when things are going south, you're going to use it. It's kind of got a danger close though, so definitely be careful. It does have deceptively less range than it seems like it would. It seems like it has the range of like a Hell Bomb or something insane. It does not. It's pretty limited in range, so you've got to be accurate with your shots on it, where you're throwing it at least. But best believe anything underneath of it is going to die, and that's why it's super strong to have it in your pocket in case a tank or a Bile Spewer shows up. Or Bile Titan, I should say. The fourth stratagem, and this is kind of personal preference, but for me, I like the Rail Cannon Orbital. I think it's great. It's got a mildly low cooldown. It's going to be able to kill your Chargers or your Hulks super easily, and sometimes you can get lucky and it'll hit a tank in the right spot or a Bile Titan in the right spot and dispatch it. Most of the times, especially with the Bile Titan, it will get blocked by its legs. It'll still do massive damage and strip some armor, but it's probably not going to one-shot. Anything below about difficulty 6, it's going to one-shot both of those, but above difficulty 6, it's going to have a hard time taking care of those bigger enemies that you're going to encounter. An honorable mention would be the EMS Strike, the EMS Mortar, and, you know, the thing about these two stratagems is they're very strong when it comes to utility, and I would honestly say if you're going to have a full team of guys who are running the meta and you're just trying to do something different, I would definitely swap out maybe the Rail Cannon or something else for one of these. They give you a lot of utility. We have a guy on our team that runs it, and he loves it, and we actually like it when he runs it as well because it saves us a lot, and it doesn't really have a friendly fire downside. Of course, if you get stuck in it, you're going to be slowed a lot, but you're going to at least be able to dive out of it and, you know, kind of navigate the field a little bit differently. So it's going to open up the space for you quite a bit. Now, again, before I go, I just want to mention that this is just a brief little, you know, video, kind of just a guide on the things that I think are the meta in the game. Comment below if you think that they're not meta, they're not strong, or I'm an idiot, and I probably am all of the above. But I would like to know what you guys think is the strongest stratagem in the game and the strongest primary weapon in the game. Obviously, your secondaries matter, but not quite as much. I'm just curious what everybody's thinking and where we all land with things, because to me, I think this is the strongest loadout that you can take. That's just, you know, my opinion. I'd love to make some videos in the future, not about meta stuff. This isn't really my thing. I do like to make guides for certain characters and classes in most other games similar to Helldivers 2. Check my content out. You would see that for Darktide and maybe some Deep Rock stuff. I would like to maybe try and get back into that with Helldivers 2. Maybe you can make like an engineer build or a scout build or a fortified build. It just seems like there's going to be a lot of stuff that opens up to us. Unfortunately, they've been kind of plagued with these server capacity issues for the last few weeks, but I think now that that's kind of settling down, they're going to have time to balance the game and make it a little bit better and add a couple more things to the game that should have been in the game at launch. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and always, I appreciate you for watching the video. Please remember to like and subscribe if you remotely enjoyed it. As always, peace!